Okay, at this point in YouTube land, it's been made pretty clear that when selecting a planer or a joiner, helical cutter heads are better than straight knife cutter heads. In summary, helical heads, as opposed to straight knife or even spiral cutter heads, are supposed to provide cleaner cuts due to an angled shear versus a straight chop. Additionally, helical heads are easier to swap blades as each set of blades has 4 sides that can be rotated once either dull or a nick on the blade appears, which is much easier and less expensive than replacing a full-length blade. The difference between helical heads and spiral heads is that spiral heads are like a combination of a helical and straight knife cutters, but helical means that the blades are set at an angle for more of a slicing cut. Spirals are still set at a straight position, just like the straight knives. So the consensus is usually that spiral cutter heads are better than straight knives, but not as good as helical heads. And lastly, helical cutter heads are supposedly less noisy than straight knife cutter heads. The question that people are more interested in is whether or not to buy a straight knife cutter head and then purchase an aftermarket helical head to save some money, or to purchase the new machine already pre-installed with a helical head. Is there a difference? Well, of course there is. That's why I'm making this video. So I'm going to show you my experience using a straight knife cutter head on my 6-inch joiner by Jet, and how to swap out the old straight knife cutter head to a helical cutter head that was provided to me by Find by Tool. Full disclosure, Find by Tool supplied this helical head to me at no charge for me to make this video, and I am at full freedom to express my own opinion on the product. At the end of the video, we'll break down the numbers and discuss whether or not it's worth it to purchase the tool pre-installed with a straight knife cutter head, or to purchase an aftermarket helical head to be installed later. First, let's discuss the noise level of the joiner with a straight knife cutter head. The claim is that the helical cutter heads are quieter than straight knife cutter heads. So let's see how loud the joiner is using the decibel meter. When the joiner is on without running material, it runs at 77 to 78 decibels. When material is running through, the noise level jumps to a low of 92 to sometimes over 100 decibels. To give you some perspective, that's about as loud as my 2 beagles on a barking rampage. So let's get to swapping out the cutter head. The specific joiner that I am using is the Jet 6-inch long bed joiner, which is model JJ-6CSDX, which sells for about $1,420 on Amazon currently. That is not to be confused with model JJ-6HHDX, which is the helical head version, which sells for $1,990. The manual for this joiner gives very detailed instructions about how to remove the cutter head on this machine. Instead of talking through the whole process, you can access this manual on Jet's website. Keep in mind that making this change in your joiner is likely to void your warranty on this machine. So let's get started. The manual for this joiner gives very detailed instructions about how to remove the cutter head on this machine. Instead of talking through the whole process, you can access this manual on Jet's website. Keep in mind that making this change in your joiner is likely to void your warranty on this machine. So let's get started. Now that I've got the machine dialed in with the beds lined up and the blades in the correct position and the fence squared up, it's time to test the quality of the cuts and the noise levels. Pay attention to the meter. Remember that when cutting, I was reaching the upper 90s with the straight knives. Here you can see that I'm mostly staying below 90 decibels, and that's roughly a 10 decibel difference. But all in all, there's no question that the cut is much smoother than the straight knives that I was using before. In all honesty and fairness, your first couple of cuts on a brand new set of straight knives will feel very similar, but give those knives a few hours of use and they will not feel new anymore. And it does not take long before you find a nick in the blade, leaving small lines in the wood which will need to be sanded down later. So, the product itself is better. Let's talk about the money. The 6-inch jet joiner with straight knives currently costs $1,420 on Amazon. The same joiner with a helical head costs $1,990. That's a $570 difference. This helical head from Find by Tool costs $300. That's a $270 savings, minus the 2 to 3 hours it takes to install. Additionally, the helical head that comes with the jet joiner comes with 27 carbide inserts. The Find by Tool comes with 28 inserts. That's probably not a noticeable difference, but considering all things, for me, this is definitely worth the purchase. I was actually so satisfied that after testing this product for a few weeks, I decided to use my own money and purchase a helical head for my DeWalt planer. Go ahead and check the link in the description for this product and browse through their website, as they have helical heads for quite a few other machines out there. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you for watching.